Okay, now I'm going to show the purl stitch with the Continental method. So with purling, you bring the working yarn in the front of the left needle, and then you come in the opposite side. You come in from right to left through the front, and then you bring the yarn around and take it out the back, the needle out the back and off. So it's in from the right, yarn around through the back and off. Needle in from the right, yarn around through the back and off. This is the back side of the knit stitch essentially. So your right needle goes in from the right side and up, your yarn goes around through the back and off, in, around, through, and off. Same steps as the knit stitch, only done in reverse. So remember, on the knit stitch, you went in, the yarn was behind and you went in this way. With the purl stitch, the yarn is in front and you go in from the right. Now be sure on this that you wrap the yarn the correct way. There is a tendency when people are learning, especially on the purl stitch, that they want to wrap it around this way. That's incorrect. You need to go around this way, from right to left. Everything's from right to left. The needle goes in from right to left, the yarn wraps from right to left, and then out the back and off. In from the right, around, back, and off. Now let me just get to the end of the row, and then I'll show you how to switch from knit stitch to purl stitch. Now I'll admit, purling is a little harder with Continental, but you get used to it, and I don't mind purling as long as there's a good reason for it. Okay, now I'm going to go a knit stitch and then a purl stitch. So knit, yarn in the back and in from the left, purl, yarn in front, back, thread, yarn in the front. I would suggest that you get the knit stitch down so you can practically do it in your sleep before you tackle the purl. That just makes it easier. So I'm doing a one-on-one rib. So the knit stitch is this way, and then purl, yarn goes in front, the needle goes in from the right side, around, through and back. Knit, purl, knit, purl. These are new double pointed needles and they're kind of noisy, sorry about that. In from the front, knit, oops, I split the yarn there, that's a no-no, purl, knit, purl. Now I'm going to do another little video while I have everything set up to show you how I do an ending, or excuse me, a selvage. Maybe I have time on this one. When you come to the end of a row, instead of knitting the stitch, if you bring the yarn forward and just slip the stitch, and then on the next row, knit into the back of the stitch, you'll have a very nice selvage. Now I'm doing the rib from the opposite side, so I'm purling the purl stitches and knitting the knit stitches. Knit, purl. I'll do it slowly. Knit, purl. See, I just have to move the thread from back for the knit stitch, front from the purl stitch, back for the knit stitch, thread front for the purl stitch, front, back, front. Now, because I'm going to do that edge, I'll just leave the yarn in front and let it drop, turn my work around, and then knit from the back. This makes a very nice selvage. looks like it's better than just slipping the first stitch if that's what you're already doing. It makes a nice kind of, whoops, I got below the thing there. I don't know if you can see it. So that is the purl stitch with Continental method.